Welcome on in, guys, and welcome to a new Diablo video. My name is Fenstars, and today we're going to talk about what to do after level 50. If you're new to Diablo or even aRPGs in general, there's a lot of things that you unlock or get to do after level 50. And I'm here to talk to you about those, guide you through them, and also make sure you do the right things from the very beginning so you don't have to go backtrack and, mess up your build or mess up your progress. There's a lot of things the game doesn't really explain that well, and I'm here to help you with that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Here is what you need to do after hitting level 50. So you reach level 50, you're wondering what to do next. Well, first, before I say anything else, I want you to make sure that you finished the main story quest, completed the campaign in order to do your capstone dungeon in Kovashad. It will show up around here when you reach level 50. You want to make sure to complete that because you only have to do the main story once. Once you completed it, you can skip it on future alts, which is super helpful. Also, the story is pretty decent and there's a ton of great cutscenes and cinematics in that. So definitely try and complete the main story. If you have done that, if you completed the main story and you're level 50 and you have access to World Tier 3, what you want to do next is to do your Altars of Lilith. Altars of Lilith, and also making sure that you completed your Renown. Get all of that done, because as you can see, at the end here, there's 4 beautiful Paragon points waiting for us. In total, there's 20, which is going to give our character a great deal of power. So once you completed the story, try and do your Altars of Lilith and also just work on your Renown. Preferably, you would have done that at the same time as you did the main story, but if you haven't, then this is a good time to focus on that and also just clear your map. Because there's a lot of dungeons out there and you can't really find them until you clear the map. So for future nightmare dungeons, clearing the map is also super helpful. Then you should try to get familiar with your Paragon Board. It's basically going to take over from skill points at this point. It will give you stats and it will give you buffs. And what you want to do when you start off putting points into your Paragon Board is to aim for that glyph socket. That is going to be something that will greatly improve the strength of your build, as you can put glyphs into them, which are either A, giving you bonus to stats, or giving you bonuses to skills or other areas of your build. It's granting us 30% bonus to all magic nodes within range. So all these blue nodes are going to get a 30% buff when I plot this glyph in. And what you want to make sure to do is to meet the requirements, which are 40 dexterity. You need to unlock 40 dexterity within range in order to obtain that bonus. Now, that bonus can increase when you level up your glyph, and I'll talk about that in a short bit, but also placing your glyphs in a good glyph socket where you have the nodes to get the requirements is also something you should look for. But for now, just place in a socket once you get there and also just mess around with it, figure out what works best for you. After that, you want to make sure to aim for this little part right here, the board attachment gate. This will allow you to attach another board with another glyph socket with new magic nodes and rare nodes and also a legendary node. But to begin with, you should just focus on getting that first glyph socket, getting those requirements met, and progressing towards the board attachment gate. So you're taking a look at your Paragon Board, you know what to do. Next thing you want to do is to start doing nightmare dungeons. In order to do that, you can either A, craft sigils. I can't do that right now because I haven't gotten that far just yet. I just leveled this one up. But once you get it, you will get sigils, which you can enable to do nightmare dungeons. And once you complete those nightmare dungeons, you'll be able to allocate XP to your glyphs and level up your glyphs. First priority is to get it to level 15, and for maximum stats on your glyphs, you want to reach level 21. But that is for the future. That's not something you need to focus on right now. First priority is to get it to level 15. Well, you want to make that grind as easy as possible. So what you want to do is to make sure you check out the affixes on your sigils. Some sigils have easier affixes, some sigils have more difficult affixes, such as resource drain or elite with certain affixes. Also, there's a few where a shade chases you have lightning striking down on you. There's several affixes that will make your dungeon a lot harder. So what you want to do is to read up on your sigils before you do them and choose the easiest one, because you want to get that XP, right? You want to get the XP for the glyph and you want to get the XP for leveling up. So you want to make sure that's the easiest as possible. Now, you started doing nightmare dungeons, you got some decent gear, you gotten some XP and all that stuff. What you want to do is to make sure to pick a path for your build. In my case, I went for the Barrage Rogue, because I feel like that's a fun build. That's something I like, something I enjoy. But to do that, I have to unlock certain skills and certain passives in order to make that work the best that it can. So you want to make sure you do that at this point. Just know that you can respec and redo your build later on, but that's gonna both be time consuming and costly. You want to make sure you land on something you're happy with and you prefer. If you aren't sure, go check the internet, as there's a ton of build out there, and it might also give you some inspiration on what to do. Like, you could just, you know, wing it and do whatever you want, but for the most part, it's a good idea to check out builds and just go from there. Next part is to do not sleep on your obols. I see a lot of people have maxed obols, and I don't know why. You want to spend your obols, gamble to get either A, the item you need, or B, the aspects you need. You also get money or mats, depending on what you want to do with it after you get them. Selling or salvaging is super helpful, so you don't want to sleep on your obols, because having max obols is just such a waste. So try and go spend them and get the most out of them. So this next part is something you probably will do in a bit, but it's good to know what to do, and that's re-rolling. All right, to re-roll, you have to go to the cultist, you have to go to enchant item, pick an item you're fairly happy about, but it has that one affix that you're not happy about. So in my case, I'm gonna try and change this one. All right, I'm not too happy about that. Boom, I press enchant, then I have the option to get different affixes on my item. These are completely random, by the way, so getting what you want is pretty hard, and it might also be very costly. Dexterity is something I would love. Boom, there we go. Now I got my dexterity, and it's almost a min roll. As you can see, possible roll is between 64 to 84, and we got 66, which is pretty low, but I'll take it for now. But this is something you want to do only if you find gear that you're very happy about, that you know that you're going to run for a long time. Don't do this on every item, because it's going to be costly. For now, though, between the levels of 50 to 70, you might want to re-roll items that you know are going to last for a long time. Re-rolling in general is something you probably want to do after you reach level 70, where you start getting proper good gear and also ancestral gear. The next part is to make sure you sell and salvage your gear. Gold and materials are going to be super important later on in the game, and the more you sell and salvage, the better. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where you don't have any gold or don't have any material. So make sure to do that, as you want to make sure you have a good buffer of both mats and money. If you want to do what I do, I usually tend to salvage everything one time. Next time I come back to town, I sell everything and rinse and repeat. Just swap between the two. That way you will accumulate enough mats and gold. Next tip is gonna be something I already talked about in my previous video, and that is to make sure to level up your health potions, and also craft elixirs and use elixirs pretty much all the time, especially when you're doing something that's giving you some kind of XP. Super worth. Doesn't have to be a certain kind of elixir unless you're struggling against some kind of enemies. And finally, make sure to check out your vendors, as they can actually sell some pretty decent gear. They restock every hour. They can give you some decent gear. Gotten a lot of good jewelry for some reason, so also do not forget to check your jewelry, as they can sell pretty gnarly stuff. As we all probably already know, is that best source of XP and materials and gold, for that matter, is Hell Tides, Nightmare Dungeons, and also Legion events. When you're doing Hell Tides, make sure to go for the mystery chest, as that will give you a ton of good mats, gear, and gold, and also XP. Well, that was it, guys. I hope you guys learned something and you got some insight in what to do going forward. Just know that there's a lot of grind left. There's a lot of stuff to do, so don't be discouraged. Don't give up. You know, take it, step by step, and of course, do it at your own pace. There's not a right or wrong way to play Diablo, but it's definitely a preferred way. There's a way to do things more efficient, and hopefully you got the information that you need and the insight that you need to do just that. So before I go, please make sure to like and subscribe the video. Drop a comment down below if you feel like I missed something, and also come join us for the live streams over on Twitch. I stream 3 days a week, mostly Diablo these days. We're doing a hardcore run on a Sorc, so make sure to join us for that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace.